Good morning everyone, and welcome to another episode of South York's Allotment. I'd like to assure my subscribers a happy, healthy and prosperous forthcoming new year, and hope you're keeping well, staying safe, and managing to get out and do a little bit in the garden. As you can see, there's not much to be done on mine today. It's very frosty, real hard frost. It's been the coldest one this winter, and I know about 5 o'clock this morning it got down to about -5 here in South Yorkshire. And I've just took the thermometer out of the greenhouse to see what it's like now, and we are down, and if you can see that very well, to about -3. And bearing in mind that it is 10:30 at the moment, so I suspect over the other side of the plots that could be a 2 or 3 degrees warmer. But as you can see, not much going off today. I just thought I'd bring you a nice little winter scene to kick off the new year, and let's hope for a better one. As we're now coming into January, it's about time we thought about sowing a few seeds. So in this first part of this video, I'm going to be sowing some peppers and some onions. It's the first time I'm going to be growing some onions by seed, so I'm going to be doing a bit of a trial against the sets, but I will also be getting some sets later on and then seeing which ones are the best method for me. So the varieties I am growing this year, I've put a label on the bottom of the cell tray here: a Tweeder, which is a sweet orange pepper, the colour rainbow mix, the long pointy ones, which is Corno di Toro Rosso, and then Ailsa Craig onions and Red Baron. They're in these inch by inch cell trays, and they're the pepper seeds on top. But what I've done is I've just put a little bit of a 1/2 inch hole in there, and then I'm going to be dropping a seed in, and then it can grow in its own cell compartment. I don't mix any vermiculite or perlite with the seed sowing stage. I don't think it's really necessary. It doesn't really do it for me, and I never have any mixed results, so I'm just going to do it in the usual multi-purpose compost with a bit of added John-Innes, and then when they're big enough to prick out, I can put them into a bigger pot and then look at starting to add some extra drainage measures. But these are what I'm going to be doing for starting, and hopefully I'll have a good successful germination rate. The variety of Wilco's and Fothergill's, Kings, and then a Grow Your Own magazine. So I've had these a couple of years, so I'm going to try them. I'm going to be planting 10 of the Tweeder, which is an orange sweet pepper, and then I'm going for 5 of the rainbow mix and 5 of the sweet pointy ones. And if they all come at once, then I can just give a couple away, but I can usually aim for a couple of misfires, and then I've got plenty in stock, and they'll be going into the greenhouse in about May time. And onions, hopefully they'll come through, and they'll be like a little shepherd's crook once they pop their heads through the soil, and then I can start looking at growing them on a bit more, and then again preparing them for going out in about mid-spring. So I'm not going to bore you with how I do it though, but I'll just show you. If they're ever on top like this, I just literally just push it down gently with my finger, like so, probably halfway up my fingernail. But as you've seen with the others, I've already done a bit of a hole, so there we go. And then what I'll do is I'll cover them over, put a plastic cloche over the top there, and then I'll pop them next to a radiator to start with, just to give the extra heat. And then once they start showing through, that's when I'll pop them on a window and also remove the plastic cloche. So 2021 seed sowing has begun. I am thinking this year of saving my own potatoes for seed. I've never done it before, I don't know what to expect, but I might just give it a chance anyway. They've grown healthy enough. I've not had any blight on these particular ones what I've stored in here. I brought them in round about, I think it was November time, start of November, so they've just been sat in here, and I've just been picking the odd pot or two when I needed some extra fresh potatoes. There's a few, some dotted under this cardboard, so I might just fertile some out, see what they're like, any decent condition ones, or any ones what are sprouting. I suspect I'll be able to just stick them straight in the egg trays and then chit them on ready for planting in a couple of months time. So I'm just going to empty a few of these out then and see what I'm left with. Right then, so the first ones are King Edward. This is a main crop, and there was 2 seed potatoes in each pot. This one here, the left hand side, when I popped it back in the greenhouse, it did start to grow until obviously the frost has got to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip these out on one of the beds what need topping up, and then we'll have a fertile round and see what we're left with. This is the first one then, and I've put it in one of these trays, because if there's any potatoes, which you can see there's a couple at the bottom, they'll just act as like a bit of a sieve, and hopefully they'll hold, and then anything big enough will just stick in the punnet, and any soil, excess soil, will just go straight through. So I'm just going to have a quick pick about, see what I've got. There's plenty of worms in it anyway, so they'll be great to put back into the soil. This compost was what I used from 2019's grow bags, which were growing the tomatoes in the greenhouse. As you can see, that's starting to chit already, that King Edward. So, like I say, I'm just going to have a bit of a fertile through, see where I can get, and I'm going to sieve the rest off and do the other 2 buckets, and I'll be back with you shortly. This is the outcome then of the 3 pots. Not too great, as you can see, but there's probably half a dozen or so, 8 what I can keep for seed, and bring them on. Some of them actually start to re-sprout and chit, as you can see, but yeah, majority of them are quite small. I have found this year, well, 2020 just gone, that any main crop potatoes what were in pots, and I've noticed on a few people's videos on YouTube, they didn't seem to do as well really this year. The first, they seem to do great, but I found when I had the other plot that the main crops, when I dug those up, I've still got a row to go and dig up there actually. You know, we're getting some really nice jacket potato size ones, so must be a thing with pots. So I think I might swerve that this year and just do the new potatoes in pots and the main crops in the ground. I also took up the last couple of pots of the Christmas potatoes. These were Charlottes, they're nice sizes, so a lot of them will go on for seed saving too. So overall, not too bad. I'll get a couple of little meals out of these, and any little tiddly ones I'll just discard off because they're no use, no ornament. So I'll just take you across to the other plot what I've took on then. I'll just show you the progress of that before I sign off. So then, second plot, this is the 10th of January, and this is the stages we're at. I've started to clear a bit of an area here, which I'll then put some cardboard down and some of these spent grow bag compost on what's been growing last year's tomatoes in. I'll split that between this area and growing the potatoes in the pots. I'm also in the process of creating a little base up there for a shed and a homemade greenhouse to go on, which I'll bring you footage of that as and when I do it. So I've just got about another 3 to 4 3x2 slabs to lay there and get rid of this bank, take that right down a bit, and then I can just start to clear this area here. I mean, I've took all these raspberries and blackberries down, so it's just a bit of scrubland there, but yeah, it's coming on well, and this is the progress I've made on the 10th of January. So hopefully by the next video I'll bring you, which will be before the end of this month, hopefully I've made a bit more progress. So that's it for this episode then. Thank you for watching. Hope you're all keeping safe. Take care. See you soon.